Hello and welcome to the fourth battle of the second Talking Time Final Fantasy Tactics Auto Battle Tournament. We are here with Torgo versus Destil. This is Torgo's team on bottom. We've got a chemist with steel and a knight with punch art. I want to talk more about his team later, but first let's look over at Destil's team. We've got a knight with punch art and finally an actual mage with math skill. Let's get things started. Now, I think there are several missteps that Torgo made in his team, and I didn't do a lot of analysis before starting the tournament, but I'd like to discuss that a little now. First of all, and most obviously, and he's already noticed this, he's put Reflect Mail on his chemist in an attempt to prevent the math skill onslaught. We can already see that that's failed. Now, as far as his knight's concerned, the knight has Chantage and Robe of Lords and Grand Helm. If you've got Chantage, you're basically immortal anyway. You can put Robe of Lords on the other unit if that's available. For the chemist, it's not an option, so why not put it on the knight? It's an extra +1 to the PA. But the Grand Helm is a misstep. It should definitely be a ribbon, because the extra health that affords is not going to actually make the difference, whereas the status protection definitely will. That said, he's holding his own in this battle, despite the fact that he's effectively 1-on-2. And I think a lot of that is due to the knight just being a very tanky unit. Although she doesn't have a ton of offense. The priest neglected to do another math skilled stop twice in a row, for reasons that we can only guess at. Oh, and there's Barrett destroyed. It's probably not going to make an enormous difference. I don't know that Torgo's team uses a ton of status effects. Charm. Never mind. I take it all back. And that could essentially decide the battle right there. Because now it's the Charmed Knight versus the enemy team, and the Knight has suddenly lost her haste and weapon. Of course, the Torgo's team is going to be busy putting that priest back down. But in the meantime, the knight is not actually doing anything. And that is a huge help. On the other hand, we'll see how this pans out. Charm wears off. With the weapon gone, those battle skills are going to be much less threatening. Battle skill is not reliant on your physical attack at all, it's just your weapon power. What Torgo really needs to do at this point is get that knight down. Now, I know that the priest herself has an Aegis shield, and I want to say that the knight has the escutcheon on her. That's why we're seeing a lot of evasion from Destil's team on his own math skill attacks. Another charm. Again, concentrating on that priest is not going to do a whole lot of good. That's a significant blow. I'm not entirely sure that the knight has Stigma Magic in her skill set, but the enemy knight does. So if she chooses to, she could potentially bring him back. I'm not sure that the terrain lines up for that, though. It is a 0 vertical tolerance ability. And sure enough, I think that unit is pretty much out of the game. So it comes down to, can Torgo's Lone Knight take out the entire enemy team? And I think the answer is going to be no. Then again, we may be in for a very long standoff here. Priest is down again. Charm is out of the equation now, though. I'm not sure exactly what the setup is on his team, but the sheer number of misses that he's getting on his math skill says that he must have at least abandon on one of his units, and probably some other source of evasion, maybe 108 gems or ribbon to block that frog status. Now, the question that we're all asking ourselves here is, will he bring that unit back from frog? And I think it's going to be a no. I think that the chemist is going to die before the AI does something that stupid, but we'll see. Knight's down to critical. Then again, that priest almost certainly has raise 2. And at this point, I am going to move the battle up to full frame skip because I don't see this one going anywhere anytime soon. Chemist is down. Action's a little hard to follow at this speed, but trust me when I say you're not missing anything. Knight's down, and the priest goes for Doubt Faith. Knight's also got re-raise. That's interesting. I'm not sure what that's from. Chemist is crystallized. That means if this one goes down to decision, it's going to be Destil's team. However, I think there's a strong chance at this point that Destil can take that knight out. There's certainly no chance of that knight taking the other team out. Torgo had a good showing here. Despite the fact that he's going to lose soundly, he stood a good chance in the first few minutes of this battle. That may be cold comfort to him at this point, but it may still be better than what he was expecting. That was a critical earth slash, knocked her down. Stop lands. And frog. That's checkmate. Of course, unit and frog status takes 50% extra damage from everything. Some kind of break there. I'm gonna move it back to regular speed so that we can see what's going on. Head break, Grand Helmet. Frog's getting double turn for all the good it does. And it was probably the shield that was broken. Solid earth slash. Even with the re-raise effect irrelevant, Chantage is still saving this unit's life. Stop may very well put an end to that, though. Here goes Excalibur. And that does it. Thanks for participating. We will see Torgo in the losers bracket, and good luck to both participants in future rounds.